So, just to kind of look here again, so LinkedIn's changes kind of a little bit. You can do by account or by lead filters. So I'm just going to click on account just to kind of show you some different things. You can see you can kind of toggle back and forth here as well. I can't stress to you enough the power of this. I think the monthly subscription is about $80 from LinkedIn, and what you get access to is tremendous. All right, and especially when you couple it with the strategies we're going to show you today. So, you can search by geography. This is a really cool right here. Spotlight, senior leadership changes in the last 3 months, right? So those are going after a little more affluent customers. People are changing positions. See if I add that, I got over 49,000 people that we could go after just inside.
Chris, just talk about that just for a little minute. I think I want to make sure that Shift Nation really understands how powerful this is. Yeah. Senior leadership changes in the last 3 months. So give us an avatar. What does that look like? If we were to kind of paint a picture of one person, what would that look like that would be attractive as a prospect for an advisor?
Let's look at it.
Excellent.
Nothing better than actually looking at what's going on here, right? Mm-hmm. So we can look. So this is the really neat thing. You can look by company. So anyone that's looking at different companies or looking at working at different companies, and you can see inside of here, you can view all employees. And for some reason, it's making me add this again, some change jobs in the last 90 days. Mm-hmm. So here we go. We got a principal data scientist.
At AT&T.
Yeah. All right. I don't even know what that person does, but it's above my pay grade, right? We got VPs, a founding board member, a senior sourcing manager. So these are all senior officials, security operations center director. You got directors, marketing consultants. This is just within one company and changes in roles in the last 3 months. And it tells you what the change was. So, I mean, what could you do as somebody with a large 401k rollover? There's plenty you can do here. So these are all opportunities. And you can see you can add to list. I can just click add to list and I can create a list based on this. And I can build a custom list, or I can just pull a link here and I'm going to show you how to use that in a little bit. But there's a couple different ways we can use it. We can build a custom list and really go after these prospects, manually, certainly, but we're going to show you a better way today. You can build a list, you're at a list, and really continue to build this out. So this is where we can even dive down a little bit deeper based on geography. So if you're only licensed in certain states or regions or areas that you're trying to work within, your relationship to them on LinkedIn. So there's different activity on LinkedIn you can do. So for example, you can message a large volume of people directly if you're connected with them. They're your first degree connection. Second degree connection is going to be someone you're not connected with, but it's someone, so it's a first degree of removal, right? So if Jeremiah and I are connected, but I'm not connected with Eve, but Jeremiah is, she's my second degree connection because I'm 1 degree away from her. I can connect with her. LinkedIn doesn't mind you connecting with those people. They're within your center of influence there. So you see lead lists up here. Let me annotate it again just to make it clear. Right here, lead lists. That's where you're going to go, where they're going to be housed. Okay. And you can create different lead lists. And these lead lists allow you to create custom. So you can run searches. So let's take it from this approach. I can run a search for a certain profile of our avatar of a person, right? I could say, hey, I want all CEOs that manage companies between 10 and 50 employees in the state of North Carolina. Or I can do these searches and I can add people to a list to create a custom list of people that fit my ideal profile, right? Maybe I only want certain titles in a company based on the time they've been there or whatever. And there's always like an 80-20 rule with LinkedIn searches. You're not going to hit it 100% of the time. It's not that refined that you're able to do that. It's still very effective. So creating those lists, and I'll go back to here. We ran that search. So here I can add Mr. Taylor, add to lists. And I can create a custom list. So I can add a lead list. I can name it my best leads. I can put a description here of what I'm saving it to or the reason I'm saving it, and create and save. And I can just start adding people to that list, whether it's for follow-ups or for things like this, those 90-day transfers of time. So there's so many ways to run searches and to build these lists. It's going to be very specific to you, your business, and the target market you're trying to approach. But that's one way to do it through a lead list. So we're going to show you a couple.
let's have a chat. Dan, thanks so much for this. Is totally
Yeah, thanks, man.
impromptu. I know you didn't know we were going to bring you up, but thanks for being willing. That's just the mentality of A players, right? They just show up, they're ready, they're on it. You know, I don't see any Cheetos on your shirt. So
no. And this is as good as I could do without putting a green screen up behind me with the new office. So
yeah,
Well, it looks
and
like you're
congrats,
busy.
man. You just went out on your own. That was a huge
Yeah.
move, buddy.
yeah, it was yeah, it's been a big week.
Big week. So you're somebody that came to us, you had already understood LinkedIn is powerful. You had understood building lists, but kind of tell us prior to coming into our system, what were you doing manually? I think it's really important to see how dedicated some members of Shift Nation are that like, I'm going to make this work no matter what.
Yeah. Well, I used to have a head of hair like Chris, but I did LinkedIn manually. So, I just went on and would do a search just like you can do in Sales Navigator, but I was doing it on the search on the regular side, put in my, PG&E company, and I wasn't, I wasn't concerned about tenure or anything. I just wanted to get connections with the company. I had 12 when I started. I've now got over 1,500, and about half of those came from using the system for about 6 months. And so I just went in and I had basically a spreadsheet where I would take the URL of the client's or the prospect's page and paste it. I could just actually highlight the name and drag and drop it off of LinkedIn, put it in an Excel spreadsheet, put the date, I sent it out, and then I'd go to my Word template, pull out basically just what you put in Advisor Link. I put in the day one message, pasted it in, personalized it, sent it, waited 3 days, went back, and either they connected or they didn't. And I'd send the second message, and then the third message, and then the fourth message, and then the fifth message. And by that time, my spreadsheet looked like that over there, just a total mess of wires. And if they said yes, I took them and put them on another list. If they never replied, they're just on the other list. And a few people might have suggested that my brains were challenged because I sent them more than one message. Some people were nice about it, some people weren't, but it was just what I was doing. And I got up to doing like 40 a day that way. So in any 1 week, I would get out 200 something messages, and I was getting a 30 to 40% connection rate at that point, because it wasn't really, I used to not get any messages on LinkedIn from people. And now I probably get, 15, 20 connection requests from all sorts of people every week, and
wow.
And all I've done is add people at my target company. So it's, the proliferation of, people using LinkedIn to connect obviously is growing, which is making it harder. But, that's where, like yesterday in the Shift Challenge, talking about that niche, if you have that niche and, your everything dials in, right? People are going to see it, they're going to connect, and they're going to say, okay, well, this is somebody I should know. And now when I connect with people at the company, I think the most I've seen of any one person was I had 500 connections in common. And if you look at and see you have 500 connections in common, it's more like, how don't I know this person, right? I'm just going to connect to see who the heck it is. So on average, I have 20 to 100 connections with most people at the company. They don't, it's still probably about a 20, 25% connection rate using the system. But when I started, probably in the spring, I started to add Kaiser as a second list of companies I was going after, because I've got like 15 or 20 Kaiser clients, and I went from like 12 there to I've got 700 connections at Kaiser now.